Hey guys, I've got some RX-78 gameplay from the live stream to go over. We're going to analyze it, talk about the abilities, talk about how to play the character, talk about when to play the character, and also talk about how it compares to the other characters that would play a similar role to it. So starting off a little bit further back here, we're going to take a look at what it would look at attacking this point here. They are attacking the point, the first point of the two capture points. And basically what you can see here is it's already finished, but there's a little bit of a chokehold here, a really strong one, where you have a choice between going across the bridge or going on the right side of the map into this choke point to get into the objective. However, it's really hard to do that for a lot of characters. It's quite a powerful little area where they can avoid damage from main or hold a GM sniper there to just blow up whatever comes down main. So having an RX-78 Gundam on your team is very convenient because it's a strong damage dealer, but it's also quite tanky in its own right. It has stopping power of a stun to burn through people, and then has its own shield just to protect it. So that's why I really like this. And I'm sure it helped it get through this a lot. That is a lot of mobility from Exia there. All right, so we're wasting cooldowns. I'm not going to complain too much because you guys, I'm sure, won't do stupid things like this. But pathing into the point here, you have to be careful of how far you're going in. You are an RX-78, so you are tankier, so I don't have complaints with you playing a little bit closer. Your main source of damage is kind of mid-range, so you don't really want to be really close, but just the fact that you have a stun, the shield says that it's actually okay for you to do that, assuming you haven't wasted it. I would much rather see the RX-78 Gundam playing on essentially this this little wall right here. I would like to see him playing there because it gives him protection. It also allows him to like hard focus the point, and if any enemy comes close to them, he can burn them with his hyper hammer and sustain himself with a shield if he needs some help. This is okay. This is about where I wanted him to play. He's putting some damage in. He should have been paying more attention to that. Shouldn't let this res go off because he just got lazy and walked away. It doesn't mean you always have to kill the res, but you need to watch it. Just like in Overwatch, if you kill something and you know that they could be rezzed by Mercy, you need to be paying attention to the Mercy potentially rezzing them. And everybody can res in this game, so pay attention. Waste of his shield. But I like this player seems to be a little bit smarter in regards to playing this character. They look over here and they see like, ooh, lots of shielding Sosby walking at me, and that's a Marase right there. Like I said, waste of cooldowns. Wasted both of them actually, because the way that the hammer throws is a little bit late. You have to like pay attention to the hammer doesn't go off until like now. You know, it's why he felt like he threw it at the right time, but it hit the wall. But I like that he was playing defensively, backed up a little bit against the wall when the Sosby was pushing closer, but still wastes his cooldowns. Kiting out when you don't have an advantage is good. But it would be really nice for him to have for him to be playing the corner, either on the right side or the left side. Should always be doing that. If you're playing in any situation, well, really just at all times, essentially, for more or less any character objective, like walls are really, really useful. Just reduces the amount of damage you take. It'd be really nice for him to have his cooldowns here. He could have gotten punished there. Like in this sort of a situation, he doesn't need to worry about rezzing or burning the Marase. It's more important for him to focus on reloading, holding his ammo, and pressuring out the Sosby than trying to do that. Like, yeah, he can kill it, but nobody can res it. If like, yeah, if there's a GM sniper 2 in their team, they throw in their res gun onto it, or a Metis tries to res it from medium range, then yeah, kill it. But this is not the case. Honestly, I would like an aggro play here. If I saw this guy holding this close with that low HP and I'm an RX-78, in this situation after we secured a kill, my team's with me, I would push forward. I would push forward into him, and I would hyper hammer him in the face, and I would make him go cry. Again, the Sosbys are big and strong and terrifying in their own way, but as an RX-78 Gundam, that is partially why you play it. You play it to give a beefiness to your team. It resists Gundam, or resists Sosby, resists like some of these other characters that like to dive on top of you, like Barbatos and things like that. So play like you actually have that kind of a stopping power to yourself. Push that, kill him. It looks like there's a nice little off angle that I hadn't seen before. Looks like I can get to the high ground there. That's actually really nice to see because that means that there's places you could go play and take from there. As an RX-78 Gundam, you don't really want to be flanking too much because when the areas that you flank from, you start getting out of your effective range. But Pale Rider, GM Sniper, Ashimar, Turning Gundam, good places. I like this positioning better. Walking with this team. I'm seeing consistently in a lot of these gameplay videos, people like to use their stun abilities for damage. Hitting a Hyper Hammer, I'm not 100% sure exactly the damage, but I believe it does 250 damage. And hitting a Hyper Hammer does 250 damage or so. Not like drastically more or less. But hitting a shot to the body with a regular primary fire does 220 from a from the Gundam, sorry. Around 270. I'm blanking on the actual numbers here, but it does around 250-ish damage. So you don't need to do that. Just hit your shot. You don't need to stun them. You're not gonna get anything out of it. This is it's not a hard flank. It's a softer flank. This is probably where you'd want to like send your core actually, rather than through that little S shape here on the left, because it lets you sneak in, it lets you get some off angle pressure while you're still moderately protected. You'd have to make sure you're sending a core of your team there, or you'll get 2 split from there. I also definitely like them going to the high ground here. You can go through the main and go into the point on the bottom, but the bottom of the point is not strong. It's not a good place to be. You'll get surrounded, very exposed. Pathing in from the high ground here is much better. There's 2 ways you can go. I'd like to see some sort of a split. This is why you usually want characters like, you don't want to split your team too much up, because when you do that they get weak. But that's why you have characters like Zaku and Pale Rider and Barbatos and Exia that can play by themselves on a flank and put that sort of pressure and damage in without making your core too weak, because your core doesn't need to split up. Staying with the core is good here. Starts taking some damage. The shield is an okay reaction to the fact that they're taking damage, but they're not actually taking damage from anything that can be blocked by the shield, so you should just back up. Make sure to check out my RX-78 guide for a full guide on this character, including when to play, how to play, the abilities, and the strengths and weaknesses. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all are totally the best.